Hello everybody, my name is James Belknap and this is The Leading Brand for Monday Night Raw, July 31st, 2017. Alright, let's go with the intro promo. Kurt Angle comes out and hey, what do you know? It's his hometown of Pittsburgh. Also in commentary, Corey Graves is also from Pittsburgh. So we have a lot of fun talking about Pittsburgh, the Penguins here and there, the black and yellow city, you know, just hamming it up with them. And then Kurt Angle announces 3 matches. The Battle of the Bigs, Big Show and Big Cass, the Triple Threat match, and Jason Jordan is going to be talking to The Miz on Miz TV, which, again, it's more promotional. The Miz does an amazing job at what he does, so why not? If you're going to make The Miz look a little bit bad, there just to put somebody over, it's just still not ready with the promos with Jason Jordan. That's how I feel, but you never know. We're going to see what's going to happen. Then all of a sudden, as he's going out, boom, dun, 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 dun. What do you know? It's going to be Brock Lesnar. We didn't expect it. We expected maybe just Paul Heyman. Nope. Brock Lesnar comes out, and Brock doesn't say a single thing. Great. Just I'm fine with that because it makes him look stronger. It makes him look bigger. I don't need him to say a thing. But in the promo, as mentioned, Kurt Angle is supposedly trying to set up Brock Lesnar not have his title anymore. Hint, hint. He's talking about not having his contract after WrestleMania 34. So, ooh. Are we actually getting to like an angle about this for a shoot for him to actually go to UFC? I don't know. But it was stated by Paul Heyman, if Brock doesn't retain his title, Brock leaves WWE. Yes. That makes it much more intense. Granted, did I feel like that Brock's going to be retaining after that? Yeah. But do we feel like it's now put an extra stipulation on how promo's going to work? Yes. So, Brock loses. Brock is out of the WWE. Give me the promo work. Shut up and take my money. Alright, and then we get to the Hardy Boys versus The Club. Granted, the Revival was in commentary, so what are we going to expect? We're going to expect the Revival to come out and fight, right? Not exactly. We actually see a quick progression match. Hitting their spots as usual, trying to get Magic Killer, doesn't get Magic Killer, Poetry in Motion happens, you get the count, 1, 2, 3, Hardys win, come up the ramp, Revival and Hardys talk, they had a little feud, turns into a pretty much a 6-man, 3-team tag kind of match, like pretty much as if tables, ladders, and chairs without the tables, ladders, and the chairs. And then the Hardy Boys come out on top as usual. Baby faces be baby faces. Baby faces look good. Not much to say right there. Not really telling any progression. But hey, it's the first actually wrestling match of the day. You're trying to beef things up. You already had Brock Lesnar come out. You're not going to do too much. You're going to make it look good for storyline purposes only. Right, the quote-unquote Shield promotion. We actually had a little bit of the cover-up of what happened last week of Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose hugging for a quick second. To be honest, it was more of a Seth Rollins hugging Dean and Dean's just in there for the moment. And they had to cover it up because, backstage I heard Triple H really didn't like that happening. They felt like they did completely to ruin the angle. Triple H really knows about ruining angles, especially when, you know, guys are leaving the company. Yeah. Madison Square Garden. Yeah. Someone with experience really knows how to ruin an angle, especially when they're about to become king of the ring. Digress. Anyways, pretty much reassuring that, hey, you know, we were doing just fine. We were doing just great. All right, and then Seth Rollins comes into the interview. This was initially Dean Ambrose interview currently. And then Seth Rollins comes in and says, and we're talking about, yeah, you know, we looked really good. And of course, Dean Ambrose reassuring he doesn't trust him. How positive an impact is it going to be for the Shield to come back? The question is, when? Because at this point, it looks like a when rather than an if. Sometimes WWE will have comebacks. Sometimes WWE will have groups come together or different members of groups coming together, especially with DX. But the question is it a positive impact, or do we have a lot of dastardly heel tag teams right now, but is it going to really be effective without a strong stable? I think if Sanity comes in, that can actually be a strong stable to go against. You got one who doesn't really care or can be a protector kind of thing, and one who causes, well, they say sanity, but they actually cause insanity. I like the name. I like how the group's going. I just want to see Killian Dane. And of course, we welcome everyone to their favorite show on WWE, Miz TV. And of course, it's just a little promotional, try to get Jason Jordan up, and really, does it get him up? I mean, he's, to be honest, getting real slow on the promos. What's the easiest way to say it? 2 to 3 second pauses throughout the promos. When you have something that's slightly scripted, and you have The Miz tearing on your father, Kurt, I am your father. No, Jason, I am your father. So you got your father getting ripped, but you take about 2-3 seconds trying to compose yourself, unless we're going to have like either a heelish turn or just this explosion of character coming out where he's kind of angry and you go through an angry angle with your father. I don't see how the promo is working for Jason Jordan right now. Especially when you have The Miz ripping him, ripping the city of Pittsburgh. He does a really good job, and to be honest, at this point, it almost felt like a shoot between The Miz and Jason Jordan at one point, because Jason Jordan's mentioning that how Kurt Angle's being booed, Jason Jordan's still being booed, but then he mentions that, you know, The Miz definitely understands about being booed. Ooh. I mean, the crowd actually makes it a lot harder of a tag than anything, but really, he still needs a lot of work. Oh, and not to mention that he was offered to be part of the Miz Taraj. The Miz saying that he needs some firepower, he needs some stardom, he needs to be part of a group that makes it all work, and so he was offered into the Miz Taraj. Smart move. I really think it's a smart move by the Miz right there, but Jason Jordan declines, and again, character work's going to be needed, so I mean, that would be a great move, to be honest, if he was part of the Miz Taraj. Because then it might give a 3-way character idea, especially with tag team and tandem style, just the stable in general. And then eventually you'll be able to get them on the mic. Yeah, that can actually work. Also, there's a little quote here that I actually want to get that also felt like it was a shoot promo for a second, was The Miz mentioning that you were latching onto a different Olympian every week. And that led on to the booings, that led on to Jason Jordan getting mad, standing up and saying, if you talk about Kurt Angle ever again. And at that point, that's where the Miz Taraj kind of get between Jason Jordan and the Miz. The Miz come and attack. Jason Jordan does a belly-to-belly over his head rather than to the side like Bayley does. Into the Miz Taraj, taking out the teams. For some reason, Maurice decides to fall down and roll off the ring too, as if, you know, just to get out of the picture. And then Jason Jordan's leaving, you know, kind of being chased out. Then earlier, Seth Rollins was approached by the Irish Army Knife and wanted to take on any member of the Irish Army Knife, only because, hey, you know, I'm mad at you. You're not going to talk crap about me, especially when you're talking about me backstabbing my buddy. And I'm trying to make amends with him, so let's get it on. So it was a quick match, to be honest. It had really quick progressions. It was meant to be a DQ. By the way, Seth Rollins with Burn It Down in the middle of his the initial part of the breakdown when it comes to his intro song. It sounds nice, but to be honest, if you're going to do that, I need a lot more lyrics or, you know, a lot more guitar riffs at that point. A little more. It seems like they need a progression of how things need to roll when it comes to their music. They're building up the music, and if they need to make a final product or just build in pieces to make it sound really good. Unlike Big Cassis. But moving on. It was meant for a DQ and then get beat down, and hey, who comes out to help out Seth Rollins? It's Dean Ambrose. So Dean Ambrose comes out, and what happens? He also gets beat down too. Then they also had a meeting in the locker room mentioning, You know, the usual stuff. Why you come out? Why would it? Dean Ambrose is, you know, just retorting everything that Seth Rollins said. Like, oh, you're going to tell me that you would have done the same thing too? Yeah, I still don't trust you, man. I got eyes in the back of my head. Understandable. I'm fine. Dean Ambrose knows what he needs to do because he is the lunatic fringe. Bray Wyatt has a promo. To be honest, listening to it, Bray Wyatt, really great promo. Just need him to win. That's about it. Heck, his promo and his ability to deliver a promo is so in key that the what chant comes out, he does absolutely nothing. His cadence and his ability to just, his rhythm is different from any other heel, or dastardly heel as most people say, to destroy and kill the wet chant. And eventually, if you just think about it, it's very dark, demonic, disturbing, you know, creeper level. And it's great. I mean, it's actually one that you might be able to follow and be able to be able to be part of a group, be into it. If he was just winning, that's all. Just give him good bookings. I mean, and then all of a sudden, you know, Balor interrupts it with a nice effect. By the way, they started with the beating heart sound, and all of a sudden it gets red multiple times. Goes out, comes in. Who is behind them? Finn Balor. And in character, does not get phased whatsoever. Just laughs, turns around, grabs him by the shoulder, gets Pele kicked, or back kicked, or whatever they want to call it. So after getting kicked, pretty much getting kicked out, Finn Balor standing tall. It almost felt like a go-home show with that kind of attitude. This is not a go-home show, guys. We still got about 3 weeks left till Summerslam. Come on. I need something built up. I want the Beast. I want the Demon. I want the Eater of Worlds versus the Eater of... I don't even know what I want to call Finn Balor right now. But that was a quick promo. That was nothing. Alright, so we got the triple threat match for the main event come up way too early. We're talking about like halfway through the show. Not even the main event. And then we have already Samoa Joe, Roman Reigns, Bray Wyatt out. And I mean, it was a quick progressing match. It was back and forth. I think it was just even booking at that point, because it started off as a triple threat. You take out one person, then one person takes on another, then the other person comes back, takes him out, and it was just a rolling progression of, all right, your turn. Kind of like you put your hands in the bat and just keep on doing that. It's like, up. It was whose turn, whose turn, whose turn, whose turn, whose turn. And of course, ends with Roman Reigns being protected. Yeah, especially Samoa Joe taking the loss. So now you got him losing to Roman Reigns for the first time. So 50-50 booking starting the show. It's reary head again. So then it comes Elias Samson versus Kalisto. To be honest, I'm starting to think Elias Samson is going to be pushed sooner or later. I'm expecting by the time it gets to, I want to say, Survivor Series, he possibly going to get an IC match or something in contention with a good promo person. Maybe even Bray Wyatt. I don't know. But I think they're going to start making that push to being a main event guy. Or at least not for the main title, but at least, you know, the B-grade people. Because they're really pushing that promo well. They're really having consistency instead of changing it up to see if the crowd likes it. And he's even starting to get his songs going very well. And of course, Kalisto comes out. I expect the push because also Vince McMahon likes big sweaty men. He's actually getting to squash people like Kalisto now. There was a quick start, no real progression. So it was meant to be kind of a squash and kind of showing off like, hey, we got flyers that have great moves. Even though he should be on 205. But he's a bigger guy. He's probably going to get a little push here and there. His promos can actually work if they give him more time, and because of the progression, people are actually starting to respond properly. And so the women's have their match. I mean, they have Bayley versus Nia Jax. Bayley's attire is starting to show a little bit of black, which tells me, Are they trying to show a progression of characters, trying to show a much harder version? I'm starting to believe that now that Bayley is going to win at SummerSlam because they're showing progressions of character. They're showing stuff that's unlikely. Heck, Alexa tried to attack her in the outside of the ring during the match and was able to get the count out after she has Nia Jax fly to the side of the ring all the way onto the stair steps for the win. Okay, so we're having little wins here and there. She's hot. She's running away from Alexa. Alexa's trying to show that she may fear Bayley. Oh, that's taboo. Should we have that happen? I don't know. But this is definitely good character progression to show that somebody who lost in the kendo stick match to look so horrible, so buried, is finally making a comeback. So Colin Cassidy's music, they're actually starting to make sound better. They're actually putting some guitar riffs, putting some drum beats down. But to be honest, it's starting to make the WWE sound like as if they were always in beta, but never in full product mode when it comes to developing their superstars. Do they have just too many superstars to develop at once and trying to fix and make better? Or are they slowly responding with what people are saying, very similar to a forum board when it comes to beta? Because to be honest, it wasn't real received to how Big Cass sounded. It sounded horrible. It sounded very generic. So what are they doing? So we have the Battle of the Bigs. We have the 7-foot tall versus the Big Show. And of course, a 14-foot suplex looks pretty powerful. And if the Big Show is as the best shape of his life that they mentioned, I want to see him from the top rope and show me this is in the best shape of his life. And then how do we end this match? We end with Enzo jumping on Big Cass, or Colin Cassidy is what I'm trying to call him, to just get disqualified. And of course, Colin Cassidy's beat up everybody because he just got mad about it, and you got 2 other people to watch for. So you're going to destroy the smallest person can be watched by the biggest person gets knocked down. But the quick takeaway about this match, to be honest, it seemed like it was actually small, because they're the same size, they actually acted like normal sized people contending, because they were actually doing groundwork. We actually saw a suplex that wasn't from the top rope breaking the ring. But this was the main event. Why was this the main event? Why is the triple threat not the main event? It just felt very, it felt out of place. I like the angle, but this match, for what it accomplished, I don't think belonged there. So that was the leading brand, everybody. If you like what you see, just give us a comment down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And of course, if you don't like it, well, I guess you just don't like Raw itself. Hey, by the way, in the top corner, tell us if you really liked WWE Monday Night Raw, or there's a third option that's always gonna be fun. That is the leading brand for Stadium Junkies Media. I'm James Belknap.